Alan Smith coming at you. We are missionary families going after gospel saturation. And what we mean by that is we want to see the presence of Jesus to fill our entire area through missional communities. And our metric is 1 MC per 1,000 who do not yet know Jesus. Now, I want to address a problem. At Bay Area, our primary way for our MCs to grow is through the front doors. And what I mean by that is people come into the front door, they go to next step, they meet me, they used to meet Jocelyn, now they meet me, and then I connect them to you. Now that's great, we're going to continue to do that, but the problem is that most people who come to Bay Area are already Christians. This is called transfer growth. And so we are not going to saturate this area if we just grow this way. So I want you to imagine with me now something. Let's imagine if every MC took it upon themselves to have responsibility to reach at least one person each year. Think about that. I'm not talking about each person in MC reaching one person. I'm talking about the entire group going after one person. And the whole body, the whole group uses all their different spiritual gifts to reach that one person. Then people will start coming into the side doors through conversion growth. Now, you may ask, how do we do this? And I'm glad you asked that question. The rest of this training video, I want to share with you a tool that I've used called the invitation pathway. Let me set up the tool this way. Paul, in Colossians 4, verse 5, he says, "Be wise in the way you act towards outsiders. Make the most of every opportunity." To be wise means to be intentional. And one way to define the word missional is to be intentional in your mission field. We see Jesus being intentional when he started his discipleship movement with a clear, simple invitation: come follow me and I will make you fishers of men. God never forces anyone to follow him. He invites them into a process of taking the next step of faith. The invitation pathway is a tool that helps us be intentional with people in our mission field by inviting them into 3 environments: touches, talks, and tables. The goal of this pathway is to make strangers family. So let's take a step. Now, God has placed us in a specific time and place where we live, work, learn, and play. And in each of these places are people. And all around us are lots of people we do not know. And those people we don't know are called strangers. Now, to develop a touch with someone that you don't know requires that you develop a regular routine, a regular rhythm. Now, then when you do that, you begin to see the same people over and over and over again. The same trainer at the gym, the same parents at soccer practice, the same staff at your job, the same barista at your favorite coffee shop, and so on and so forth. Now, when does a stranger become an acquaintance? I want to propose that happens when you begin to touch base with the regular person that you see. You start to say things like, "See you next time," or "Glad to see you," or "How was your weekend?" Now, each environment where there's a key question that we can ask to move them from this environment into this environment. And so to get into the acquaintance zone, to the touch zone, is to ask them their name. Now, that is something that we've all done. And if you're like me, you've asked not just once, second time, but 3 or 4 times, and it gets embarrassing to ask them a 4th or 5th time. So let's be good missionaries and let's remember their names. Let's write the names down so next time we see them, we can call them by their name. Everyone loves their name. I love it when someone says, "Hey, Alan, I know you love to hear your name as well." So let's ask people their names and make our strangers acquaintances. Next environment is talks. This is turning acquaintances into friends. acquaintance. Regular touches eventually will lead to a talk, going beyond the superficial chat to the more substantial matters of their hearts. Now, if touches require rhythms, then talks require receptivity. That's when you know you've crossed the line from acquaintance to a friend, when someone opens up their life to you and they want to share something with you. It could be a few minutes, it could be an hour. When they open up, you can consider it God's invitation to you to form a friendship with them. Now, in past trainings that we've done with our leaders, we have called this the person of peace. The friends are those who are receptive people who are persons of peace. So you may be stuck there. Some of you have your persons of peace. What do you do with a person of peace? What do we ask at this level to go to make friends with them? And the key question here is to ask more questions. Ask a lot of questions. Experts tell us it is very rare for a person to ask more than 2 meaningful questions of another person. So if you ask at least 2 meaningful questions of somebody, you are loving them. People want to talk about themselves, and very few people follow up with questions. And if they tell you something significant, remember it. Just like you remember their name, remember that significant issue, and then ask them about it later. So this is the environment of talks. Now, the last environment is the goal of it all, and that is the table. Because at the table, we become family. Jesus, his primary method of doing mission was eating with strangers and sinners and unbelievers. Eating is a central practice of being family. Can you imagine being family and never eating together? Think about it. God made us humans so that we have to sit down, slow down, and eat, enjoy the food, and enjoy the company. It creates an environment of unhurried conversation for talking and being heard. It's so difficult. Have you ever thought about this? It's really hard to eat in silence, because when we open our mouths, our hearts also open up, and symbolically it weaves us together and makes a family. Now, to get from talks to tables requires another invitation. And this one's simple. It's simply, hey, you want to come to my missional community? It's great. Or you don't have to call it a missional community. You can just say, hey, I have some friends coming over. You want to come eat at my place? And if you do, and if they come, you may want to suspend your normal activity and just have a meal and fun game night. Make sure there's food there and make them feel welcomed if they come. And as they come, you can ask them to tell a little bit about themselves, get to know their story a little bit. And in turn, you can tell them your story and share the good news of Jesus through your testimony. The main reason why God has put this person in your life is so that you can invite them into the family of Jesus and get to know Jesus himself. I want to close with the Invitation Pathway Challenge. I know you can do it. So by Christmas, I'm challenging you to 3 things. The first is this. Let's learn 10 new names. And that probably means that you just need to go back to the people you've already asked their names and just write it down. So let's learn 10 new names. The next challenge is to, of those new names, talk with 5 acquaintances. I know you could do this. Pray that God would lead you to 5 people to talk to. And of those 5 acquaintances, ask that God would lead you to invite 2 friends to a meal. Now, this meal does not have to be at your missional community. It can be just with you, this person, or maybe another believer. But let's see if we can get 2 people to the meal table by Christmas. God has placed each and every one of us in specific places where we live, work, learn, and play. Let's be wise in the way we act with those who don't know Jesus yet and make the most of every opportunity. This invitation pathway can help us introduce many people to Jesus, one touch, one talk, one meal at a time. That's it for me. Let's dream big, pray hard, and start small. And I'll see you next time.